Back now to tonight's main report. It's feared that up to 26 people, 18 of them children, have been killed in a school shooting in Connecticut, the worst in American history. The atrocity began at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, some 60 miles northeast of New York City, just after 9:40 this morning. We can go live now to Matthew Gold, who is in Connecticut at the scene of what's happening. Can you just tell us, Matthew, what exactly is happening now that the school is secure? Daniel Gold?
Well, it's quite chaotic here. You know, there's firemen everywhere. Red Cross is on the scene. And no one really seems to know what's going on. There's a lot of confusion. It's a very small, sort of rural Americana town with a main street and a church and a big American flagpole. But they blocked off the road to the school, and I think they're trying to protect the families. I've seen parents either walking to the school or from the school in tears. A lot of them just don't want to talk right now. There's media everywhere. It's just a very chaotic scene, and no one really seems to have any answers right now.
Daniel, people have obviously become kind of almost commonplace to the news of people being shot in educational institutions in America, but a primary school, this surely will really deeply shock America.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing other reporters and people who are usually very steadfast in this sort of thing, and people are very, very shocked at this. It seems like it was a deliberate plan to take out as many children as possible. And you know, news reporters do these kind of stories a lot, and my colleagues are shocked. I am as well. It's just the amount of children, the primary school. It's very, very shocking. And I mean, it's gonna be a big story for a long time.
Daniel, at what stage are we likely to get clarification of what really happened? Because although we know that the gunman is dead, we're not absolutely certain of the death toll. We think it's 26. What are you getting in terms of really hard facts on the ground?
I think they're keeping us pretty much out of the loop right now. I think there's a big concern with making sure the families don't find out through the media or through any other means. They want to take as much care of the families as they can. So, I mean, it could be 24 hours. It could be even longer. They're just doing what they can to sort of protect the families, and it's understandable that they don't want to reveal that information right now. But I really can't say, to be honest with you.
Daniel Gold at the scene. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Let's go now for an overview to Matt Fry in Washington. Matt, as we've said, a primary school, the slaughter of the innocents, literally. What have you been learning while we've been on air?
Well, quite a few things, actually, John. There are now 2 American networks that are giving us a name of the shooter. I will not give you that name until it's been confirmed by the police. But I will tell you that I've looked at his Facebook page. We're talking about a young white man in his 20s. And isn't that always the profile of these killers, oddly enough? We're talking about someone who on his Facebook page is dressed in black. There are police reports that the shooter who is dead inside the school was also wearing black, so perhaps that tallies. According to this Facebook page, the person was born in the town of Newtown in Connecticut, where this killing happened, but then moved to New Jersey, to a place called Hoboken, just across the water from Manhattan. And one intriguing detail, according to NBC, and a very credible source on that network, the parent, or one of the parents of the shooter, the suspect, was found dead in his home, or her home. We don't know the identity of that parent. So the pieces are gradually coming together. But what's really fascinating here is that I think, possibly having discussed this earlier in the program, this may be the red line which has finally been crossed in terms of the debate over gun control and how to speed that up in Congress. But again, there's a big if attached to this. One of the things I've heard discussed, perhaps even more than gun control on some of the networks, is putting a policeman in every school, so that if something like this were to occur, the shooter could be shot dead before he does the damage, but not so much talking about gun control. But listen, this story has only just happened. We're all in shock about this, especially those of us who have children in American schools, and let's just wait and see how this pans out. John.
Matt Fry in Washington. And for the latest updates from Connecticut, do go to our website, channel4.com/news. We'll obviously be following this whole development over the weekend, and you can contact me direct on Twitter at JohnSnowC4. In a moment, Unreported World. But first, the weather.